talking about Mo Light at World Finals last year. In case you guys don't remember, Mohamed Light lost one game last year at CRL World Finals.
Just that's ridiculous.
One game, and that was to a former world champion in LCOP in the very first match of the tournament. Other than that, it was Mo Light 2-0 over Lucas, Mo Light 2-0 over Riley, and then Mo Light 2-0 over Riley again in our grand finals. So Mohamed Light still just really locking in why he is the greatest player in the game, and we'll see how much work he's been putting in this downtime. I mean, we're still seeing him grind. We're still seeing him get to that number 1, number 2, number 3 spot on the leaderboard. I mean, this is Mohamed Light we're talking about. So here we go. This is an exciting best of 3. Game number 1, RG, bottom of your screen. No surprise there. Evo Hunter, I believe, first appearance of the day. Top of your screen, Juicy. Talk to me a little bit about those 4 cards when they're all paired together.
Yeah, we might see a little bit of splash yard from Pedro here. The splash yard, like, I don't know. The splash yard meta is in a really weird spot. After the tornado nerf, I've even seen a lot of splash yard variations that don't even use tornado. We might be seeing an Ice Wiz plus Evo Witch no tornado matchup here. And the question here is, how does this deck pair versus RG? I would say in general, it can be difficult to defend the RG, as you're seeing right here, just because once again, you know, the Tombstone isn't getting the job done. The Gob Huts don't get the job done. You need a cannon, you need a Berry Tower, you need an Inferno Tower, something like that. But on the other hand, Mohamed Light doesn't have a big spell. A lot of the time, Splasher can struggle because a Fireball can take out your Ice Wiz, or a Lightning can take out your Witch. No big spell here maybe gives Pedro a solid chance once we're in double elixir.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe trying to hold that Lightning or other big spell for later on in this best of 3. He decides to go with the small spell of the Rage plus the small spell of the Log there. And there you go, Rage dropping in on that Ice Wiz, Log coming out on that Tombstone.
Fisherman gonna pull the Witch here. Mo, but just playing patient here. He's up damage, and he's just going to try and hold on to that. But here's the difficult part for Mo. Though Evo Witch is in cycle, no Lightning in this deck to deal with it. He's going to have to make some Mo Light plays in order to defend this Evo Witch.
Yeah, and as you were saying, just him playing slow and steady, getting 2 Rages out on that Ice Wiz for a little bit of tower chip damage. 1981 to 2874 here, as we're seeing a bit of a pile up at the bridge, which is to be expected.
And we see another Witch dropping down instead of the Graveyard. He wants to keep spawning in lots of skeletons here, but the Fisherman does clutch. It pulls the Evo Witch to the middle map, and he's able to take it out. That's insane. Pedro just lost all his momentum in this match.
What a snipe there from the Fish Boy. Minute 45 remains here in overtime, and 1981 is the lead for Mo Light as he cycles an RG in the opposite lane of the damage that is done, maybe trying to focus the attention of Pedro to the other side, because that is the weaker tower of Mo on the left-hand side. And as you said, Juice, he's got a massive lead, and there's not a way for Pedro to catch up other than having a great graveyard come through. So Mo just making him play out of sorts and in his pace, making Pedro play at Mo's pace.
Here comes the Graveyard Barber on the left-hand side. Guards, last card, going to do a great job of defending here. And the Monk on the right, just cleaning up the Baby Dragon, cleaning up almost everything. We do see Pedro get some nice damage through, but there's only 60 seconds left in this game, Andrew.
Skellies from the graveyard keep that Witch alive. That Evo Witch has been alive for, I don't know, 30 seconds on the right-hand side of the board. Doesn't seem to be much of a threat, though, at the moment for Mo Light, keeping her at bay. And there you go, Fishboy going to take care of her as the battle resumes on the left-hand side of the board. Monk kind of holding everything at the line. Mo goes RG at the bridge, right-hand side.
Log gonna come through. Baby Drag Graveyard is a big threat, but he decides to spend Elixir on defense, and that's why Mo plays this RG. He knows that he's gonna force him to defend, and he's playing another one, forcing him to defend even further, trying to make it so Pedro can't go for that Graveyard.
Right, you know Pedro wants the graveyard right now on the right-hand side. Yep. He's got a great push put together, but that Monk doing a great job against the Ice Wiz Witch combo. RG's coming out. Sometimes the best defense is offense, and that's what we're seeing here from Mohamed Light. Get those RGs out so that my opponent cannot stack Elixir up. And there you go. Good defense, although a lot of damage in. Mo
and the Witch on the tower? but it's not enough. Mohamed Light making the impossible possible, winning versus the Evo Witch without a big spell in game number 1. This is insane.
Yeah, you know, Elixir, right? This is that very basic idea brought out to the highest level of gameplay. If you're going up against this deck that you know is going to start to succeed more in double elixir, you know that that pileup is going to happen, you know they have the poison value, and you know the only reason that they're going to be able to beat you is with that knight plus witch plus baby dragon and then the graveyard. You've got to make them spend elixir elsewhere, and that was perfect from our two-time world champion.
I love what Mo's doing here. He's like, you know what? I'm going to show you how to play this deck, Pedro. And he literally just straight up copies here. He's got the Evo Witch Splash Yard here. We're not going to see a Tornado, which once again is so strange to me.
It's wild.
Rip Tornado 2025. But yeah, we'll see. It looks like he's going against Pedro using a Mortar Bait deck. I would say that the Mo probably has a pretty good matchup here, but that's pretty contingent on the spell situation from Pedro. If Pedro does have that lightning for the Evo Witch, it could be difficult to get value from that card.
Yeah, those spears going to also get a lot of value against the graveyard for Pedro there, at least something to think about. And yeah, it's wild, man. It's talking about spears, talking about tornado. Every single time that NATO comes off and doesn't take my spear goblins or other like squishy troops off the board that it used to, I'm always like, is that under level? No, this is it's still, even now, it still throws me off.
And there is the lightning from Pedro, going to clean off the Evo Witch immediately. But the other, like, probably the biggest thing to think about in this matchup, though, is the fact that Pedro is using the Cannoneer version. This is maybe the only time, or one of the only times, we'll actually see a different tower troop other than Princess used. And it just makes it so Mohamed Light can do this. He's going to go for the Graveyard. He doesn't need a tank. He's the Cannoneer, only shoots once every, like, you know, 1.5 to 2 seconds, allowing those skeletons to provide a lot of pressure and value.
As someone that plays Mortar a lot, everyone knows that, but, you know, now with Cannoneer, Mortar Cannoneer is kind of a must. Graveyard is always very frustrating to play against because there is that thing that you just talked about, Juicy, where you can use that Graveyard just so much more liberally. You don't need a tank. You don't need to find an opening. You don't need to have a huge elixir advantage. You can just make them overspend. So we'll see if the greatest in the world can abuse that here against Pedro, who's doing a pretty good job so far. 2270 top right-hand side against 2497. Here we go. Ice Wiz getting tanked for. NATO's back. He does have the NATO. NATO is going to get that Golden Knight just close enough to tower for the Ice Wiz to splash. 2073 with a decent counter push as Pedro goes counter push right-hand side, Mortar left.
Yeah, I mean, Pedro, we know he is probably the best Mortar player in the game. I mean,
whoa, Juicy, whoa. I'm right here.
Okay. Second best Mortar player in the game. Andrew's going to take the cake on that. My bad, Pedro. I mean, the facts are the facts. But he's applying a lot of pressure here. He's making it work. And he's trying to do everything in his power to force Mo to defend, similar to what we saw last matchup, to make it so that the Graveyard isn't going to come down as often on those Cannoneers. But here comes the Graveyard nonetheless.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, that Mortar in the opposite lane is just so much easier to keep controlled than an RG push to the opposite lane. And Pedro definitely feeling that right now as he goes Mortar again. Tombstone, great distraction there. Gets the Tombstone out early, so it's on those skeletons. Skeleton's going to distract. 1295 to 2154 as an Evo Witch has to come out from Mo Light to take care of that Mortar.
And notice the placements that Mohamed Light uses in this match. He's always the Witch up high to make it so that the lightning value isn't there. And because of that, Pedro wants to find other ways to defend against the Evo Witch other than lightning it. But that just makes it so it provides even more value. And the Graveyard on the right-hand side just absolutely slaying out here. Wow, and we see Mohamed Light emoting on everyone. This is insane.
Look at him. Look at this. This is the Mo that we want. This is.
I kind of think that Bridge Spam kind of goes with Royal Giant. I think there are some like skills that can translate there to apply pressure, but looks like Assaf is using what he's known for: drill wall breakers.
You know, and I'm actually a little surprised at this, and I don't know if I love it because right now I'm looking back at Assaf's battle log and I'm scrolling for a while now. I'm scrolling back to maybe 30 plus matches ago, and he has run Evo Wall Breakers, Drill, Valkyrie with Cannon. So he's got Tesla here instead of Cannon. So that's one change. So maybe he's trying to hold Cannon for farther down the line. But I guess in terms of predictability, you've got the guy that's known as being a Drill one trick running the one Drill deck that he's been practicing with relentlessly. So not sure if that was the best way to go.
I can't help but read the chat here. Someone said Assaf playing with one hand is crazy, and the dude thinks he's gonna win already anyways, guys, or lose already. Guys, I trust me, Assaf, you know, he might not look like he's taking this seriously, but he's locked in. He's going against the world champ, and he's gonna try and take this win.
Yeah, Assaf with one hand is better than a lot of people with three hands. So, you know, let's at least give the guys some credit. And there he goes. He gets that second hand up. So he's ready to go.
Okay, big RG push though. Tesla dropped down low. He's literally so low in elixir. I'm not gonna lie. This might be game over already.
Oh man. The Wall Breakers defense against the Evo RG, it hurts to see, but honestly, Juicy, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, he's down 3 elixir, he's down 500 and some change, but I honestly thought we were going to see that tower at like 20%.
Yeah, I mean, Assaf, once again, he's just really good at being aggressive, but Mo is really good at defending. So Mo's going to defend, he's going to counter push. And we even see a pre-monk ability by Mo trying to predict a fireball. Good try. Assaf not going to fall for it right now. And the fireball all coming out now to deal with the Evo Hunter. Well played. Good patience there.
Honestly, though, the Evo Wall Breakers actually did a little bit of damage to the RG because it was Evo and it cleaned up the Hunter. So while it was a super weird play, I think that was one of the reasons why we didn't see quite as much damage come in, as now we see Assaf using that Evo'd Valkyrie to do a much more efficient job cleaning up.
Wallbreaker gonna connect left side. Never mind. Nope. Rage dropping down. Mo very precise in the defense, and somehow being able to get this Royal Giant to get a connection left side too. He's just extending his damage lead even further.
Yeah, Assaf was looking for the log for that E-Spirit there, thinking Mo might go log plus E-Spirit with the tank in front, but he instead decides to go the sure route and get damage in. As Assaf gets a little bit on that right-hand side, 1338 now to 1989. Guards trying to take out that Monk. And now an Evo or a Drill has to come out on defense as well. Log going to come in for Mo, and that's trouble.
Wow. And the RG takes out all the goblins as well, so it does get another hit despite the log from Assaf. And we only have 1 minute and 25 seconds left in overtime, and Mo just continuing to apply massive pressure.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been a person that's been like this, and you know, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing about me, but I really don't love playing your most predictable deck.
Right.
Not just archetype wise, but also in terms of battle log wise, because I feel like that's just two routes of just like, if your opponent's doing their job at all, they've got to have options in game number 1, and Mo does. He's got 2 small spells and an E-Spirit that is going to make it impossible for Wall Breakers to ever break through. He's got guards for the Drill. He's got tanks on the ground, all the options. So, you know, he's still in it. 1472 to 852 as Mo has 2 RGs on the board. Evo Valkyrie doing a great job cleaning up, but does get pulled.
Yeah, I was helping out versus both sides. Assaf trying his best to defend here. He goes to the Valk on the right side to prevent the Hunter, and that means very little elixir for the Evo RG that's raised up in the left. RG rage, boom, boom, and that's another shot, and it's over. It is over. Oh, Mo taking game number 1.
Yeah, that was a really well.
He's going to use in game number 2 here. We're hopping straight into it. And we'll see what Mo brings as well. I don't know. The thing that we always say when we're playing against Mo is like, I feel like you do need to get a pretty good matchup, right? Because he's the best player. But it always seems like Mo always just has some really consistent deck picks as well.
Yeah, we've said that for years, talking about Mo and his analysts. So here we go, game number 2. After a one-sided game number 1, even though Assaf did feel like he was in the mix. So he's going to go Bar Barrel plus Golden Knight, Miner and Goblin Gang.
Okay, Lightning going to drop down the Queen and the immediate dash to try to apply pressure. Roll Hog's going to be used to defend here and attack at the same time. And Assaf, once again, a little bit low in Elixir, playing the gang as soon as he can. Light, I don't believe has roll delivery cycle, but he does have the Barbarian Barrel. Going to clean this up fairly well.
And Evo Cage already in cycle. Going to deal with that Golden Knight. Goblin gets taken off as well.
Interesting that he's using the Evo Cage here. I think that he was probably predicting maybe a roll of Giant from Assaf. Evo Cage really strong versus the RG, but yeah, I mean, it's what? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, is this still a mortar deck?
I think so. Yeah.
Right.
I think so. Yeah. No arrows, no log, but he has the Barb Barrel, and yeah, if it's not mortar, I don't know what it is. The problem for that is that Mo has the Earthquake. He has the Earthquake, he has the roll delivery. This is a great matchup for Mo. It's going to be tough for Assaf to make something happen.
Yeah, it's interesting because those Skeleton Dragons are actually going to be really, really great for Assaf, but only defensively, right? Sometimes those Skeleton Dragons can be a problem on the offensive side of the board too, but with the AQ, with the delivery, with the Spirit, they're going to be a lot less of a threat, whereas on Assaf's side of the board, Mo has absolutely no way to get to them. So something that Assaf is going to have to abuse as this matchup goes on is figuring out how those Skelly Drags can be great on defense.
Lightning dropping down, Molder on defense, but the Earthquake hits that already. Once again, the Evo Icy, we're doing a pretty good job of cleaning the Evo Bats as well. Mo's continuing his prerogative of applying pressure, getting chip damage, and having perfect defense. I'm going to give myself a question here. Like, what does Assaf need to do to break through and win this game? And I think it's going to come down to this Golden Knight. Like, he needs to make something crazy happen with a Miner plus Golden Knight combo. Give the Golden Knight to the tower. I think that's his only chance here.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of trying to think of the same thing. And I also think, like, defensively, he's got to use his Skeleton Dragons and Bar Barrel combo more. And then that way he can use his mortar offensively. And so that's what he's doing right now, which is really good. But I don't know if it's too little too late, especially because, you know, in this situation, you kind of want to be able to go opposite lane with your mortar because of exactly what we're seeing right there, the Earthquake coming down, but it's really hard to do, and it's really easy to get that mortar distracted. So Assaf just in a really, really tough spot.
Going the back, activating the 3-card cycle. Queen up high and a mortar here with a Lightning to try and sneak damage, but Mo's ready. He drops the cage immediately. And once again, I think this is just going to be some more Earthquake value, like you mentioned. It's going to be even more chip damage. And this Miner not really doing much either with the Brawler ready to rumble.
But that Evo Ice Spirit gets taken out, so these Evo Bats are a little bit more of a threat. There's the delivery back in cycle, though. It was 3 cards away, but Mo was like, all right, I see the problem now. And immediately gets back to it and takes care of the problem. Lightning at the bridge from Assaf. These feel like necessary yet desperate lightnings at the same time. Like, you need to take care of the queen, but you're getting that -1 trade every time, and now you never have that lightning anywhere else. Now he goes opposite lane, but it's too late, Juice.
The Lightning does allow the mortar to connect. I think you're right. I think it is too late, but I like the never give up mentality. He's getting the mortar connection, but the Gob Gang gets taken out with the Earthquake. Evo Mortars in cycle. There's still 25 seconds left. Maybe there's a miracle here if Mohamed Light lags out. I don't know.
I was gonna say, what else is happening in that miracle? And it's not the miracle of the breakthrough. It's the miracle of the internet breaking down over.
Cool Golden Knight connection. It gets closer than everyone thought it was going to be. Queen's connecting. Mo stood up already and walked away before the game's even done. What is happening? And he sits back down, smiles as the tower drops.
I was like, is this about to be the wildest caster curse of all time? I couldn't even years. Never at the highest level. Known as being one of the best bridge spam players in the game. But honestly, he was all over the board yesterday, just playing a little bit of everything. Seemed like Tourist could do no wrong, and I'm very curious to see how he stacks up against the Goated One.
The Goated One is quite the name. I like that. I might have to use that. But yeah, Mohamed Light with the tombstone, the bar barrel, and a knight. Looks like we're gonna see some more splash yard. We'll see if he's gonna be using the non-tornado or the baby dragon, or the tornado version here.
And we did see a little bit of feistiness, a little bit of spice out of Mohamed Light yesterday, BMing Pedro, hopping around, walking away before games were even over. Big comeback swings. So, you know, I love this version of Mohamed Light that we're seeing. And I also love that Tourist is the only person that's run Lava Hound the last 2 days. And the first time that he ran it, he went up against someone that had 0 air defense, and it was one of the easiest wins that he could take. I think it was against Sam. Can't remember exactly, but it was RG versus Lava, and that RG deck had, oh, you know, I think it was Clown. That RG deck had Zap and Curse in it, and so we were kind of excited to see that, but it did not work out well.
Yeah, I don't know if it matters at all, but I did see a little bit of drama on Twitter where Jeebus, Clown's coach and analyst, was talking about how there was a little bit of a bug actually, where sometimes the deck copied does not show with the deck that is on the screen. So he didn't actually mean to go in with that Royal Giant deck with no air defense. So it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation. We'll see if Tourist is going to be able to be successful as well with the Lava Hound here. But I think going into Mo with a poison for the Flying Machine, for the Skeleton Dragons, with the Witch and the Ice Wiz for the air defense is going to be a much different story.
It's really interesting. I didn't know about that, and hopefully that's something that our players and their coaches can lock down. We have had instances in the past where the copy deck wasn't working the way maybe it was supposed to, and that was something players had to adjust to, and a bit unfortunate to hear that, but here we are in this matchup, and just like you're saying, a lot more air defense at the helm of Mohamed Light in this specific matchups. I mean, specifically the 2 cards we're seeing right now in the Witch and the Ice Wiz. I mean, Ice Wiz are just so great at stopping any beatdown deck, especially up in the skies for that splash once the pups pop. And just cycling Ice Wizards in the back is Mohamed Light as Tourist tries to go aggressive at the bridge, opposite lane with a Lava Hound plus Flying Machine push. Mo's got the defense locked down pretty well so far, and has to pull the trigger on the poison again.
Poison drops down. Witch is in Cycle, and Tourist does have the lightning, so he's going to drop the lightning down the Witch immediately, trying to break through for any sort of damage. But the Ice Wiz Tornado is in Cycle once again. Ice Wiz doesn't do the damage it used to, but the Tornado doesn't do the damage that it used to, but the Ice Wiz Splash is sufficient to really make sure this defense is successful.
1842, 2575. Tourist has changed minds on which lane to go in. Did not like the counter push potential that he was giving Mo Light on the right hand side, and Mo Light continuing to just defend with a card or 2 and then a poison if necessary. Now we see poison coming out on the opposite lane to deal with the Skelly Drags.
Yeah, that's going to force out the arrows as well, with the Evil Knight just tanking everything. Tornado once again in the left-hand lane to mitigate damage. And we're heading into triple elixir overtime, which I think only can benefit Mo in this matchup.
Yeah, honestly, I completely agree, and I'm really impressed with, I mean, it's hard because it's Mohamed Light, where it's pretty hard to be impressed by anything and everything that he does is impressive, but his ability to completely control a Lava Hound plus Flying Machine with just a Witch and then a Knight, or just a Witch and a Tombstone, not hitting panic, not worrying about the damage that he's taking, not overspending. It's really good, because you can see Tourist is having a really hard time figuring out how to put together a real offense that's going to keep up in this final 20 seconds.
Lightning going to drop down the Ice Wiz with the anti-lightning Witch placement. Graveyard from Mo, plus a poison and a barbell to apply pressure with only 12 seconds left on the clock. This game's getting a little bit more close than I thought it was. The Tornado doesn't do that much damage. The arrows come through, and there's a lightning in Cycle. Tourist making an upset here in game number 1.
Wow. I don't even know. It felt like Mo had that
already got so much damage to the right hand side, and also it's fairly difficult to get damage in that matchup versus the Valkyrie, the guards, the Skelly Drags, the arrows. So I think Mo made the right play to play in the opposite lane, or continue to do that. It just didn't end up working out for him in the end.
So, not something that you and I say very often, and something that we've never said before. Mohamed Light down a game against Tourist here at the CRL Warmup.
Yeah, it looks like Mo liked the deck that he saw. He might be copying here, or at least copying a variation of the lava here. And Tourist with a very strange deck. I honestly have no idea what kind of deck we're going to be seeing here.
Yeah, I totally. I mean, you see part of it and you think one thing, you see the other part of it and you think mortar bait, and Juicy, I think you're right. Mohamed Light going, I hated that deck. Let me play with it.
Yeah. Goes to the bridge to cycle to the bats, able to defend against the Inferno Drag. Evo Cage and cycle, gonna yoink that ghost in and allow the tower to clean up these bats. It's gonna stay on the board for a little bit longer as Mo can try to recoup some elixir here.
I know a lot of people out there, a lot of the Clash Royale purists don't love evolutions, and I'll find myself complaining about them when I lose to them as well. But yeah. I do have to admit, some of the great mechanics that have been added with them is really interesting in the game. I do think Goblin Cage Evo is one of the more fascinating and unique evolutions in the game. It's never really felt super overpowered. It's always felt kind of matchup dependent. But also it's a great get out of jail. I mean, honestly, Mo is running two of the best get out of jail free cards in terms of Evos, in the sense of obviously what the Goblin Brawler can do and the Valkyrie can do defensively. I mean, they're both so powerful, especially against cards like a Mega Knight. So see how that kind of fares as this game goes on. And almost had a moment there where I thought that we saw Tourist repeat a card, but the Inferno was played in a different set, and Mo didn't straight copy the deck that he just lost to. Looks like he opted for Inferno and Skellies instead of Flying Machine.
Miner Gob getting a right-hand lane, trying to apply some pressure. Evo Valk is in cycle, going to really clean up this defense, and that's what Andrew means by getting out of jail free card. That's what Lava Hound really excels with Evos like this, because a lot of time, Lava Hound, it's all about spamming as many air cards you can, applying pressure, getting spell damage, and then you just have 2 or 3 really strong defensive ground cards to help you out on that end of the spectrum.
1918 to 26-26, and now some more damage comes in on that left-hand side. Tourist in the lead in both lanes. Mohamed Light with a bit of a grimace on his face that is a face that we know well, but not one that we see super often.
Skelly Drags drop down with the Evo Cage. If the Evo Cage can take out this Mega Knight, he will have a successful defense, but it doesn't. Zap drop it down, taking it out, and he's forced to defend with guards, and the Mega Knight's getting so much damage. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, Inferno Dragon Bats clean up the entire lava push, putting Mo in another very difficult situation.
1343, 2279 as Tourist is, with 80 seconds left, about to pull off maybe the biggest upset of the tourney so far, but now we see Mo pedal to the metal, lot on the board. This will be very interesting to see how Tourist defends. There's the Evo Zap to come in and help with the Skeleton Dragons, but now the Skeleton Dragon's still alive. Arrows comes in to clean everything up. Golden Knight to tank on the ground. Gang comes down just in time, and I think somehow he defended.
Wow, and there's 60 seconds left on the clock. Tourist is up over 700 damage, and he's gonna apply some pressure. It's his time to attack. Mega Knight the bridge. Cage to drop down, try and get the Evo in cycle. He will defend. The Evo Valk will clean up the rest of this push and allow Mo to get another Lava Hound at the bridge. There it is.
Lava at the bridge, 40 seconds remain. Bats immediately on top. Inferno distracted. Lightning comes down to hit everything on the board. Goblin Gang now in to help clean up that lava up front. Mega Knight at the bridge to kite everything away. Second Inferno comes down. Bats surround. Tourist is doing a great job here. 30 seconds remain. Now going to go Miner to the back. Now the counter push comes in. 1327 to just over 1100. Mohamed Light fighting for his life with 18 seconds remaining.
The problem is that Tourist is continually applying pressure, making so another Lava Hound cannot drop down. There's only 10 seconds left. Arrows have to drop on defense. Miner provides chip. The Cage drops down, and Mo needs to save up for a Lightning, but it's not even enough. The Miner did enough chip damage, and Tourist with a 2-0 sweep against the world champion.
And you see Tourist with a little bit of the shush there. What really, really impressive, especially in that Gob Giant meta that we were in. And then, unfortunately, Pedro fell to Mugi in the upper bracket grand finals reset. So that is how Pedro got to where he is. Him and Mohamed Light, unfortunately, in that year, did not run into each other. So this is a fun matchup for us.
But they did run to each other in round 1 of this tournament. I believe Mohamed Light 2-0 Pedro here. So Pedro's got a lot to prove. He's going in for the Goblin Drill right away to try to apply some pressure. Looks like we have a Goblin Drill mirror matchup here. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, Goblin Drill mirror matchup, but 2 different looks. Pedro going for the popular look on the day, and Mo going for the look that you and I yesterday, I mean, who knows what the other 2 cards are going to be, but just Demolisher in general feels like a card that is not quite gonna work, or at least it didn't work yesterday. But if one person can make it work, it's Mohamed Light at the bottom of your screen, and you're absolutely right, Juicy. A very quick 2 up, 2 down for Mo versus Pedro yesterday in the first round of the bracket.
SO7 in the middle of the map. Mohamed Light trying to just get ready for some solid defense. He's going for the Goblin Drill to apply some pressure as well. Would not be surprised to see a snowball come in. No, he goes for the poison instead, predicting the guards, trying to get some goblins on the tower.
Yeah, I like that poison. You know, he's down a few elixir, so we see Pedro go hyper aggressive here at the bridge. Demolisher plus Goblin should do a good job there. He has to Evo Snowball on defense.
Wow.
And Mo able to recover mostly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate this play. Obviously, I would like to see the Evo... Oh, and the pre-Mighty Miner predicting the Evo Bomber. Nice. And he's got a double Goblin Demolisher here. Maybe he can actually make a counter push off this.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that we don't see a lot is double Goblin Demolisher, and we do know they do a ton of damage. Now pulls back the Goblinstein with the drill, and while it might have just been really pretty and fun to watch, doesn't actually get a lot done, but that could have been crazy interactions there for a second.
And we see the Tesla on the right lane. I like this decision from Mo to just switch lanes here. It's going to allow him to defend, counter push. Whenever you're in a mirror matchup and your opponent doesn't have a big spell, I always recommend switching lanes, playing same lane here, because he can continue to apply pressure, get poisons on offense, prevent his opponent's counter push, while also defending and counter pushing in the same way.
Now, there's always caveats to rules in Clash Royale, but I couldn't agree with you more, Juicy. I think that that's just something for most players to put in their back pocket is you have a big spell, your opponent doesn't have a big spell. Like you said, there is a way for you to get spell value, and that's something you need to abuse. Bomber comes down, does get one shot on the tower there. Great cycle use there by Pedro to get back to it. Great use there of Mo to get the Ice Spirit out to activate King Tower to now help a little bit with the defenses, all while almost evening up the game in damage. 1898, Pedro's lowest tower, 1620 or 1602 now, Mo's lowest tower as that Evo Snowball comes in. Tesla there, though, to do some good cleanup. Still a little bit more damage than maybe Mo would have liked. 1455, no building in cycle. Pedro goes Goblinstein right at the bridge.
Yeah, and that's going to force Mo to use his win condition, the Goblin Drill, on defense. And here comes another Goblin Drill from Pedro to keep applying pressure. Mighty Miner does prevent the Goblins from locking on the tower. Goblins on the Goblinstein to try to continue to win this this interaction. And Goblin Drill in the back, he can't go for the... Sorry, Goblin Demolish to the back. He can't go for the drill right away because he just got it back in cycle.
Tesla out here to catch. Tesla doing a decent job cleaning up those goblins. Evo Snowball comes in. No extra goblin damage done, though. We get a triple drop there from Pedro.
Wow, 2 Teslas on the board, but neither of them lock onto the Goblinstein. Snowball, but still the goblins are connecting. Evo Bomber does miss, but there's only 30 seconds left. Mo needs a lot of damage in this last 30 seconds.
And another Snowball. Evo Snowball is in with the Evo Ice Spirit. So great defense there for Mo, but I don't think he's going to get enough damage. He's got so much down. Poison really the only thing ticking away. Second drill comes in because that Mighty Miner is on the board, but the Goblinstein is there. The ability is popping. Guards are there as well. Poison comes down. Ooh, and that was pretty dang close. Poison not going to have enough time. Mohamed Light loses this by 100 and some change.
Wow.
goblin hit. There was only like once or twice where that goblin hit didn't come in. So really, really well played. Exactly what you want to see between the two best in the world, or two of the best in the world, excuse me. And also, we love it too because, you know, there was a little bit of fun BM and lore, if you will, Clash Royale lore going on between Mohamed Light and Pedro. Obviously, nothing but love between these two competitors, but it's fun to see them talk a little bit of trash to one another.
So we do see the first Royal Giant of the day from Pedro here. Wow, finally. We'll see if he's going to be able to make a win happen here, get the 2-0 sweep versus the world champ. Mo, on the other hand, with a pretty solid minor fireball, maybe minor rocky, does not have poison as an available option for spell.
Yeah, and it's still like, it's not quite as surprising as it used to be because Royal Giant Evo's been in the game for so long, but it is still just like, man, look at the first 3 cards played. What an aggressive way to start the game for a Royal Giant player, when in the past you would have seen Skeletons come out, then the E-Spirit, then you maybe try the Monk. So just a different game that we're in nowadays, and Pedro did get a little bit of damage from it. 27-45, Mohamed Light's lowest tower, against 29-22 with a minute 30 remaining in regulation.
I do like this matchup for Mo. I guess it does kind of depend on what his big spell is, but if you look at Mo's
lightning,
yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, what are the chances we see a lightning here? Lightning would be solid. It's very strong versus the Evil Hunter. But if you look at Mo's deck, like, there's not much that can actually get deflected by the Monk. The Evil Bats do a great job in this matchup. The guards, the boss bandit are strong, and it looks like he does have the fireball, able to hit the tower, and the hunter there. Really well played.
So version of this deck was pretty popular. I believe it did have lightning in it, the one that was run regularly on the leaderboard, but makes sense if Mo's thinking about getting to game number 3, which you know he is, because you know he wants to win this game number 2. Might want to pull out lightning in game 3.
Yeah, on the other hand, Pedro probably has a lightning as well, so that's definitely something that Mo's going to have to watch out for when it comes to his building placements. Nope, it is a fireball. It's going to drop down, take this cannon, and allow the RG to get one shot here. Really good value from the evil RG there.
Yeah, and you see Mo doing, I mean, we've watched so many of his matches now that his body language and his general expressions speak volumes at this point. I feel like we're like those lip readers you see on like TikToks and stuff. And you can tell that he's definitely feeling a little frustrated right now with the way that his defenses are kind of unfolding. He's getting that Mohamed Light grimace that you see when things just aren't quite going his way. He's taking more damage than he wants, especially with a deck like this where your win condition is the miner and kind of the boss bandit, but against someone like Pedro, that boss bandit feels like a lot less of a win condition than it would normally.
Here we see the cannon place one tile up in the opposite lane to prevent fireball from hitting the tower and the cannon at the same time. It's a solid defense. Hunter won't get a shot, but Mo, this is not the situation Mo likes to be in. He doesn't like to be down damage in overtime. He likes to be up damage with really solid defense. And he's going to have to find some way to break through here.
Yeah, that's actually a really great point that you make about Mo. He usually does come out to the lead earlier in the matchup and then hold on and, you know, get in a spell at the end. Like you said, he usually just spends a lot of that time defending, but this is not the case you want to be in, and this is also not the situation Mohamed Light likes to play from. A little bit late on the log there. Knew the E-Spirit was going to come for the bats. E-Spirit gets there just in time, and now that Evo RG will get a shot, and it does. 1566, 2175. A lot of damage coming in here on the left that Mo has to sacrifice.
And the Hunter's going to get another hit too. Now the left side is the most HP done. He's going to go for the boss man ability right away, but the Fisherman's ready for the miner. Fireball onto the Fisherman to try to break through, but it's just not enough. And here comes a Royal Giant from Pedro immediately.
And I was just going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, Juice, but I'm pretty sure this is also going to be a spot where Pedro wants to switch lanes, not only because it's the weaker tower, but it's the weaker tower in the same lane that that Mo's trying to work on. And so the spell value, the hunter value, the counter push value is also much better.
Fireball inbound, 16 seconds left in the clock. Evil Hunter's in cycle blocking the lane. The Monk is getting more chip damage, as well as with 3-card cycles, Pedro's going to cycle back to his Fireball quicker. He also catches the miner of the Skeletons. Fireball from Mo, Fireball from Pedro, and Pedro taking down the world champion, making it through to the lower bracket finals.
And you can see both of the expressions on their face of exactly how they feel right now. Pedro looking like he just won the CRL warm-up, which honestly beating Mo in